Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see I have a little something different happening here. On this left side I have a 6x12 pocket page. On the right side I have a 6x8, but it's divided into all of these 2x2 pockets. You can also see that I have already cut up my photos for this. When I'm working with 2x2 squares like this, I have to do that ahead of time pretty much because the way they're placed it's difficult for me to do these kinds of pages. So I want to make sure that the photos look good, that they have good placement in there, and it still leaves me 3 pockets to do something in there that will be fun. Over here I just have a 4x6. The rest of these will be filled with photos, but I don't know what embellishments I'm going to use. I really have to think about the journaling that I want to do. So I probably need a card that has journaling space up here, but what that looks like, I'm pretty open to it. I'm also considering possibly doing some sequins over here if I could find a good color match that felt right, but if not, I'll just do cards in there. I should also probably state that these photos are all from the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia. It was one of the things we chose to do when we were sightseeing when we were there, and it was a very eerie experience, but it was also pretty cool. I have pulled out some stuff that I had in my bin that was specific to things I pulled for Philly. So I have this sticker book, which might have, some of the color in there that you see in here. It's got kind of this odd greenish teal kind of color happening in there. So I have that. I also have this pouch full of little doodads here, lots of embellishments, stickers, those kinds of things. And then I have extra papers and cards in here because I'm totally fine with the fact that if there isn't a card ready made that I like, I'll just make my own. In my 4x6 cards that were in this little bag here, I did find this one. On the back of it is this pattern, and I have another one of these. Yeah, so this must have come from a full sheet of something. I don't remember what paper line that is. And I thought, well, I like the colors, but that's not the look that I want. But now this, maybe, I'm not sure, because here it's meant to be streets, but it almost looks like the cell blocks. I have a map later that comes and it shows a map of the prison with all the different wings for the different cell blocks. It kind of looks like that. So I'm wondering if I could get away with it here, and then I could just do an embellishment up here or something, and then maybe fit my journaling in this bottom flap of the envelope. I'm not totally sure. So for now, I'm going to place it there as if I'm going to use it. It certainly works color-wise. It's very similar to what you see like in this photo. These colors match pretty well. So that part is okay. I'm just not sure design-wise if it's going to work depending on what else I put in here. So keeping it for now, and we'll see what happens. Well, in my papers in that same bag, I found this. It's blank on the other side, but this side works well too. It's not as dark as I would like, but it's kind of tan. It's got the dingy color. It looks grungy on there. And then if I darkened it up even a little bit with maybe some brown ink or something, that might work well here too. So I have 2 options really. So we're just going to tuck that under there, keep that as a possibility, and then I'll start working on the rest of these pockets. So in that same bag, I found a bag within a bag, this little one, that had all of these just little cutouts. And I remember getting these. They were on a sheet of paper and I cut them out individually so I could use them. I don't think these are the right color match, but there are several in here. Like those 2 right there. That one, that they match pretty well with this color here. But obviously they're bigger than 2x2. So if I were going to use them, I'd have to cut them down and maybe lose some of that, but I could journal in there, put a sticker, something. I mean, I might be able to get pretty creative with those. I'm not sure. I could also build my own card on this side and just take a 4x6 from here, put this on there, get really creative. So finding more stuff that could be fun, and that's always a good thing. Well, the more I looked at this, the more I decided I do want to make my own card. So I've already cut this down to 4x6. I've decided I'm going to use these 2 pieces right here. I think I'm actually going to center them pretty close to where they are, but more towards the right, just so that there's some open space here. And then I'm trying to decide, do I want to pull up my photos? I had a ton from here. I could easily pull them up, pick out a different photo, cut it down to 2x2 and fit it in here to match this. I like the idea of that. And then I could just journal over here or put an embellishment. I'm going to have multiple layouts of this. So there may be journaling going to happen before or after it. Where I wouldn't need it here, I need to assess that, get started on these, and then I'll be back. So because I said I was considering sequins, I decided to just dive into my stash and see what I have. I found this mix, which I'm not sure about the pink, but this color is pretty perfect to match all of this. So I do like it. This is a mix from Cat Scrappiness, Mint Sparkle. No idea if it's still available, but that's where I purchased it in case you want to look. And then I have these as well. These are from 28 Lilac Lane. I'm gonna take the lid off so you can see here. It's a mix of nice browns, which work very well here. I also have gray. I do have some silver and gray sequins I could drop in a mix as well, but I think I'm going to start with these two and see what I think about them. I do have my fuse tool heating up. It's right here. I decided to plug it in and get it ready in the event that I decide to go that route, and it seems like I am. So I have to wait 15 to 20 minutes for that to heat up, which is fine. So while I'm waiting, I'll have to figure out which pocket the sequins will be in, and then finally I can start doing something with this. Well, I'm changing my mind already, people. I had this one glued down already, and I just happened to look over into this pouch of stuff that I had, and part of what was in there was this. This is an acrylic embellishment from Colorcast Designs. I've had it for a while, put it in the Philly stash, hoping I could use it somewhere. The color is pretty perfect with everything I have going here. So I think since this is already glued down, I'll just make it work. I'm not going to tear that up. I can layer it like this, I think. Something like that anyway, not too far to the left. I don't want this to look totally blank, but I can do that. And then I'm already thinking I may splatter on there. I have kind of a coppery color that looks a little vintagey and grungy, and so I may sprinkle that on. Ooh, maybe I'll do that first and then apply this. So let me grab my spray. Here's the spray I'm going to use. It's by Glimmer Mist from Tattered Angels. This is very old, had it forever, but a little of this goes a long way, so I still have plenty. So I love that color and the sparkle to it, and this one is called Light Rosewood. The splattering is done, as you can see, and then I took the backing off of the embellishment piece, but sadly, look what happened. You have to be very delicate with these whenever there's a very thin piece, and I was a little too impatient, and so when I was pulling off the backing, it broke. But it's at the apex of the Y here. I think I'm still going to use it. I'm just going to glue it on as close as I can to where the break happened, and hopefully nobody will notice but me. All right, there it is when it's all glued on there, and I don't think you can even tell unless you look really, really closely. So I don't think the average person will notice it. So I'm okay with that. So that's the upper card, which is fantastic. I've gotten that done. Now I can just spend the rest of the time having fun and embellishing, because when I looked ahead, I do have other spots where I can journal, so I don't need journaling here. So the rest of this is just fun time. All right, so I have that done. I've decided the sequins are going to go in this pocket. That leaves me these two. I've already actually cut down this piece that I showed earlier, and I plan to use it there. And then I had this piece of scrap just in my miscellaneous paper bits, and I'm going to cut that down to go in here. And that gives me some nice options, because I know in here there are some stickers that they kind of have a vintage look, and they're very tan and brown based. So I'm hoping I can find something in there to add to these to just liven it up a little bit. And then in a couple of minutes, my fuse tool should be ready and I can do the sequins. I have found some things in here that I might be able to use. I have some shorter strips here. I have these photo corners. There are several that are tan and brown. Then I have the longer strips if I wanted to cut those across and use them on maybe both pockets, not sure. And then here I have some other little strips and pennants that might work, so I'm just gonna pick through those, I think, and see what looks good. So I've done a couple of things here. I made this little square. I used some word phrases that I had. Kind of hard to see them over here. I have a whole little baggie of these, and I got them from some scrap group I was in, I think on Facebook years ago, and I just saved the digital file, and I've been using them ever since. So I had phrases in there that would work. And then I took this strip sticker, which was this one down here, and I've used it there and here, and I actually have a tiny little bit left that I may use up here or somewhere on a photo to overlap. So a little goes a long way. So I'm going to take this one, and then I'm going to put the word somewhere on here like this with some staples, and then I'll do it also somewhere on the left side so that everything matches, and that I have 3 of an item. I like when they're odd, and then all I'll have left after that, I think, should be the sequins. I did decide to add some splattering to these just so that they would mimic this card more and it would look like it all goes together. So I have that. They're drying, so they're not in the pockets yet, but they'll be in there soon. And then now I have to figure out what phrase do I want to use and how do I layer that over here. So on this photo, I decided to add that right there. So I used the rest of that strip. One more little phrase I had, and now I'm actually going to do a bit more splattering right at the end here. I do have a pink. This is blush, so this will give it a little more sparkle and bring in some of the pink on this card. All right, I have my mix ready to do the sequins here. So you can see I decided to go just with the 2 I had, the brown mix and then the pink and kind of light aqua mix. So I have that. I did realize though, thank goodness before I did it, that these colors do not match what's going to be on the other side. So I had to do something fairly generic there. So what I've decided to do is just take a piece of white cardstock. These will get dropped in on top. And then this is actually what will be on the other side. I took a peek to see what photos I had. Yellow will match. So I did this quickly. I'll drop that in there. Then I'll put the sequins in on this side and I'll be able to seal it. All right, it's done. I put in my sequins here, sealed it up with my fuse, and then I also decided to add this little pink acrylic star. It came in this package, which I had already put in my Philly stuff because I have photos from the art museum I want to use, so I figured that'd be perfect. So I'll just do some close-ups here to show you how I finished it all off today. The most difficult part was definitely the sequins, trying to get a white piece of paper back there and then aligning it just right so that it would also work with what's on the other side. But I'm super pleased with the way it turned out, and here's another one done for Philly. Thanks for watching.